Two guys from the Korean Police University were walking when they suddenly spotted a beautiful girl passing by.
지금 빨리 번호 떠. 빨리 번호 떠.
가위바위보. 안 내면 가기. 가위바위보. 가서 빨리 번호 떠. 자 빨리.
But as a result, they were caught by gangsters and hung up high. Ki-jun and Hee-yeol had just been admitted to the Korean People's Police University. On the day of admission, they said goodbye to their parents to prepare to enter a new environment.
잘 챙겨 먹고 이불도 잘 덮고.
우리도 안아볼까? 아 그래.
Because it was a police school, on the first day of admission, all new students had their hair cut very short.
저는 조금만 길게 잘라주시면 안 될까요? 제가 구렛나루가 1년 동안 기른 머리라 잘 좀 부탁드리겠습니다.
바리깡 그거 소독하셨어요? 그거 소독 안 하면 세균성 곰팡이성 피부염에 감염될 수 있거든요.
Not long after, the new students were allowed to check into their dormitories. The strict Captain Joo-hee called an emergency meeting.
오늘 보급받은 기동복 완전 복장으로 3분 안에 들에게는 가혹한 얼차려를 내리겠다.
소세지. 두 개로 이 밥을 어떻게 다 먹어요?
밥을 덜으세요 그냥.
너 소세지 안 먹어?
소세지에 글루타민산 나트륨이랑 아질산 나트륨이 들어있는데 그게 발암물질이야.
그럼 내가 먹는다.
Ki-jun did not know that this action would make him suffer in the future. Finally, they arrived at the day of the physical test to become official students. Captain Joo-hee said that they had to run up the mountain and back to school within 1 hour. Anyone who did not meet the requirements would have to leave the school.
야 나 좀 도와줘. 내가 소세지 줬잖아. 그거 네가 안 먹으니까 내가 먹은 거지. 나 좀 도와줘. 입학하고 싶어. 업혀. 한 시간 넘었어. 내리막이야.
The two of them had arrived last and did not meet the requirements. He thought that they would be expelled from school at this time, but unexpectedly, after hearing their reasons, Captain Joo-hee did not blame them. She turned around and scolded the remaining students. Joo-hee reminded them that the police's duty was to save people, not to abandon people in distress. As a result, those students were all punished to run another lap, while Hee-yeol and Ki-jun were let off. Through this incident, the two became even closer. In a conversation, Ki-jun said he entered the police academy because his tuition was exempted. Ki-jun's father had left home a long time ago, so his mother didn't have enough money to send him to college. Hee-yeol was a very good student, but he didn't choose to enter a prestigious university like his friends. Instead, he wanted to become a hero.
친하게 지내자.
2 years passed quickly, and Ki-jun and Hee-yeol had adapted to life in the police academy. Today, they had to take a theory test. While Hee-yeol did it very easily, Ki-jun had a hard time. Ki-jun thought for a while and then decided to write all the nonsense answers on the paper. Next was Dr. Jang's lecture on kidnapping cases with thrilling details that made everyone listen attentively. Then came the self-defense class.
And 하이! 하이야! 자 봤지? 하이야!
진심 유용하다.
박수.
Christmas was coming, but Hee-yeol and Ki-jun still had no plans. They wanted to date a girl, but there were only boys around. At this time, Jae-ho came to show off his girlfriend's photo on his phone. This was no different from mocking the two of them. While fighting, Ki-jun took revenge by hitting Jae-ho hard. Ki-jun found out that Jae-ho found his girlfriend in a bar. Hee-yeol and Ki-jun immediately went there to flirt with girls. Because the stuff there was very expensive, they just wanted to go in and play. Ki-jun said that his mother said that girls really like guys with cute smiles. Ki-jun told Hee-yeol to smile for him. To escape being single, the two of them borrowed Jae-ho's stuff on their day off. They invested in a 54-seater car with a private driver and headed straight to the most VIP bar in the city. Entering the two people, they felt like they were lost in paradise.
여기요.
Not being as expected, the two of them sadly went out to drink. At this time, Ki-jun invited his friend to go play games. Unexpectedly, on the way to the internet cafe, they met a cute girl passing by, so the two of them forgot about playing games and played rock, paper, scissors to see who could flirt with the girl first. At that moment, a group of gangsters suddenly appeared. A man knocked her unconscious, put her in the car and left immediately. Because it was so sudden, Hee-yeol and Ki-jun didn't have time to react. By the time they realized and chased after her, it was too late. Ki-jun immediately called 911 to report the incident, but the operator couldn't find the car's license plate in the database. So the two of them rushed to the police station to report the case. But when they got there, the entire criminal investigation department was busy searching for the missing grandson of a tycoon, so no one cared about this kidnapping. According to what Hee-yeol and Ki-jun had learned, 7 hours after being kidnapped was the victim's life expectancy. If that time passed, they feared the girl would be killed by them. The two of them couldn't leave her in danger without saving her. They decided to return to the scene to investigate the clues.
어쩌면 이 떡볶이 판 떡볶이집은 찾아볼 수 있겠다. 왜냐면 떡볶이는 잘 뿌니까 집 근처에서 사 먹잖아 보통.
The two of them immediately asked around nearby rice cake shops for more clues. Meanwhile, the girl woke up in a daze and found herself surrounded by scary gangsters. The leader was calling to sell her for 50 million won. On this side, the two trainee policemen had found the place where the victim bought the cakes and also knew the girl's work address. But when the two of them ran there, they realized that this was a disguised earwax shop. Hee-yeol told Ki-jun that if he went in, he would be able to lie on the girl's laps. Ki-jun asked how Hee-yeol knew. Had Hee-yeol already gone in? Hee-yeol immediately said that he was a very clean person, so he would never go to places like this. Hee-yeol only heard it from his playboy friends. But if they were caught while they were in here, they would have to leave the police academy immediately. After a while of playing rock, paper, scissors, Hee-yeol was forced to go inside, while Ki-jun stayed outside to keep watch.
뭐 안에서 보면 되지.
그럼 뭐 누구 찾는 건데요?
얼굴이 작아요.
시작할게요.
안 되는데. 안 돼.
잡스요!
한거 같은데.
잡스요! 잡스야! 무슨 캡틴 아메리카야?
In the earwax shop, Hee-yeol was being taken care of enthusiastically by the girl. Hee-yeol almost forgot why he came here. Hee-yeol slapped himself in the face to calm down and then told the employee about the kidnapping. Hearing the description, she immediately recognized that it was her 17-year-old colleague Lee Young. Luckily, Hee-yeol was able to ask for the girl's home address before the police returned, so the two followed the clues to a dark motel.
누구세요?
저희는 그 경찰대에서 왔는데.
잠시만 열어드릴게요.
오빠 언니한테 무슨 일 있어요?
이게 된다?
Hee-yeol immediately checked the blonde guy's phone and discovered that he had sold the children's information to gangsters. Hee-yeol also found the kidnapper's address in the blonde guy's wallet, so the two tied him up and asked about the girls and Lee Young. They were all runaways who relied on each other to survive. The reason Lee Young became a street kid was because she was brutally beaten by his stepfather. Touched by this situation, Hee-yeol gave the kids some money and took a taxi with Ki-jun to the gangsters. The driver saw that and warned the two boys that this was the territory of Chinese criminals. Even the police couldn't do anything to these criminals. When they arrived, the two went into a noodle shop. They took out the blonde's phone to try calling, but before they could do anything, the kidnappers discovered them.
비싼데?
너네 전화기 집에 세 개.
누구야?
쩐다 우리! 윤정이 어딨어? 윤정이 어딨어?
말아야 한다 이 세스케 같은 새끼야.
빨리 말해! 입으로 나올 수도 있어.
Finally, that guy told them where the girls were being kept, but they didn't know that someone had secretly called his accomplices for help. On this side, the man from earlier led Hee-yeol and Ki-jun to a dark slum. Ki-jun found bright red blood on the ground. He asked what they had done to the girls. The gangster said they had taken the girls' eggs and sold them for money. At this time, Hee-yeol heard cries for help behind the doors, so he immediately called Ki-jun to see. Inside were many victims being held captive. They broke down the door of a room and discovered a little girl with a high fever. Ki-jun decided to take the girl to the hospital first and call the police to rescue the rest later. Unfortunately, as soon as they reached the door, the gangsters arrived.
어디가니 시베이 누구세요?
경찰이다.
When he woke up, Hee-yeol and Ki-jun found themselves hung up like pigs, and their bodies were marked all over. It seemed that these people intended to take their internal organs to sell. The gangsters saw this and immediately turned back to their area to erase their traces. Ki-jun and Hee-yeol went to the police station to report the case, but the policeman did not believe them because their papers had been taken. He asked them to follow the legal procedures. The two people had to have ID cards to report the case. Ki-jun angrily shouted, "Is the procedure more important than human life?" Seeing Ki-jun so agitated, the policeman immediately pulled out a stun gun and shot the two people, knocking them unconscious. The next morning, Dr. Jong went to the station to bail out his student. Then the three of them went to the house where the victims were locked up. According to the doctor, he had once busted a ring of egg trafficking from girls. Rich, infertile people were willing to pay a lot of money to traffickers to buy eggs, so they were so reckless. When they arrived, the girls had been taken to another place. There were only blood stains left on the floor. Dr. Jong said he would ask the local police to investigate, but it would take at least 2 weeks to start. After listening, Ki-jun was furious because after 2 weeks, the girls had no chance of survival. By the time the police arrived, they had become corpses. Obviously, the police had a duty to help the people. Dr. Jang immediately replied that it was true, but the police still had to solve many other cases. The two suggested that they wanted to investigate this case themselves, but the doctor said that they were still students and did not have enough authority to solve it. Back at school, Hee-yeol and Ki-jun were still worried about the kidnapped girls, so they decided to go rescue them themselves. Ki-jun remembered the license plate number of the gangsters, so he asked Captain Jae-ho to help find them. After that, the two pretended to follow Dr. Jang's orders and went to the engineering room. They borrowed armor, handcuffs, and electric guns to practice. Meanwhile, in the human trafficker's den, a girl got an infection and couldn't get her eggs anymore, so they decided to take her for surgery and take her organs. At this time, the female captain found out the whereabouts of the car. It often went to a maternity hospital with 2 other cars. This hospital was where the human traffickers sold eggs. After learning about the gang's modus operandi, Hee-yeol and Ki-jun immediately took action. The next morning, an infertile couple came to buy eggs. The doctor said that a female university student wanted to donate eggs for 80 million won because they wanted to have children. They immediately agreed. Meanwhile, the girls were taken to the hospital to get their eggs. Lee Young was the first victim chosen for surgery. Hee-yeol and Ki-jun dressed up, armed themselves, and went straight to the hospital. In the end, they successfully defeated the gangsters, but when they took the elevator to the operating room,
어디 있어요?
양 교수님한테 전화하자.
양수
Finally, they called the police to come to the scene to arrest the human traffickers. The movie ends here. Thank you everyone for watching. Goodbye and see you again.